Right now what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you all on a little trip.
Hello? My name is Jim Carrey. I'd like to do some impressions for you tonight.
I haven't had a holiday in a long time, you know, basically because you're always thinking about it.
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years.
Ambition. Ever since we were young, we were always taught that it was a good thing, the key to our success. The more you dream, the higher you'll climb, the more fulfilled you'll become. But what if I told you there was a darker side to ambition? The ancient Greeks, for example, struggled with this idea as well. Aristotle believed ambition was a virtue, but that it should be met with moderation, as an excess of it would lead to recklessness and a focus on personal gain above all else. And centuries later, we still struggle with the same concept. We push ourselves harder, climb higher, achieve more. But success never feels like enough. And that's because ambition isn't a virtue, it's a trap, an endless cycle, a paradox, with only one way to break free. It's 1977 and a small crowd is starting to form at one of the local comedy clubs called Yuk Yuk. And then a skinny 15-year-old kid steps onto the stage.
He's also been in Hollywood about 10 months and created quite a bit of excitement. This is his first appearance on American television.
A young Jim Carrey experiencing his first big break into stardom, a career that would go on to last over 4 decades, from a tiny comedy club to the heights of Hollywood fame. But Jim's childhood wasn't the best. His father was struggling to keep a job, and his mother suffered with chronic health issues. For a period of time, Jim and his family were even homeless, living in a tent on the streets of Canada. Although this was a difficult time in Jim's life, he didn't let it affect his attitude, for he had dreams and ambitions just like us. He used to practice making faces in the mirror in hopes to one day become a successful comedian.
I'll be sitting looking in the mirror, doing some contortions with my face and things like that, moving my face around.
Jim Carrey is a man of many faces.
By 19, he was in Hollywood. By 30, the world was his. But despite this, Jim still felt empty. Even with all the riches and accomplished dreams, Jim was depressed.
I've often said that I wished people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion.
And although many people interpret this quote as him coming off as ungrateful or tone-deaf, I think there's truth to it. He's not saying money doesn't bring happiness. Sure, we could all benefit with a little more money, a little more security, but I believe that if your basic needs are met, water, food, shelter, after a certain point, the human brain will start to crave more. We will never truly be satisfied with what we have. And once we achieve everything we've ever wanted, there's nothing left for us. But we will still want more, and that feeling will leave us empty. The first king of Ephyra, Sisyphus, stood at the bottom of a mountain, cursed by the gods for his recklessness, condemned to an eternity of pushing a massive boulder up a hill. But each time he reached the top, the boulder would fall back down, and he would start over forever. Widely interpreted to be a story on the futility of existence. But in a way, it also tells us about our own ambition as a paradox. The more we achieve, the emptier we feel. And maybe that's because what we're really searching for isn't success at all, but meaning. Humans are hardwired to search for meaning. We all naturally want our lives to have some sort of purpose. Sisyphus' struggle, in a way, is our struggle. Because just like him, we're hardwired to keep climbing, to keep searching for something more. But no matter how high we climb, the boulder always rolls back. And with it, our meaning slips away.
Jesus Christ.
So are we all destined to live unhappy, meaningless lives? To keep chasing goals that never fulfill us? Well, no. You see, centuries later, philosopher Albert Camus explored this story in his essay The Myth of Sisyphus. He described something called the absurd. the universe's lack of a distinct meaning, yet humans' endless search for it. But Camus didn't see this as a tragedy. He saw it as liberation. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. And most people don't understand this. They live unhappy lives, stuck in jobs they dislike, with ambitions buried under the weight of bills, obligations, and fears. They give up on their dreams not because they weren't capable, but because they misunderstood this one thing. You have to embrace the absurd. You have to embrace the climb. See, they viewed their struggles as roadblocks, proof they were failing. Because they were so focused on making monumental change that every little slip-up felt demotivating. They became tired, lazy. The effort they're putting in isn't leading to anything, as the boulder falls back to the start every time they reach a new summit. And that's the true paradox of ambition, is that the higher you aim, the more you expect monumental change, the less likely you are to even start. Eventually, you reach a point where a goal seems too big or a summit seems too high, so you start to slow down, weaken. The boulder starts rolling back to the bottom without even having reached the top. You stand at the bottom, staring at the peak, dreaming of what's up there. But the weight of that dream paralyzes you, so you stop pushing the boulder at all, and slowly your ambition eats itself alive. You settle, you convince yourself it's enough. So ask yourself, are you ambitious but lazy? Maybe it's not laziness at all. Maybe it's your ambition itself, so big, so overwhelming that it's keeping you stuck. And the cure? Stop obsessing over the summit. Accept that life has no meaning and embrace it all. Just start pushing the boulder no matter what happens, because believe me, failures will happen. Stuff is going to happen to you that'll make you question why you're even doing this in the first place. Some days you'll start to ask yourself, why is this happening to me? But turns out there's no reason for these things at all. The best thing we can do is accept it and move on. People chase goals because they want to create meaning for themselves, but really, life has no meaning, so stop trying to look for one. Just embrace the meaningless of life and live. Embrace everything, experience everything, live life to the fullest extent, accept the randomness, the hardships, the failures. Stop putting so much thought into meaning and goals and just live. Seek out real change, seek out real life. Don't let ambition and search for meaning drag you into the paradox of wanting more and doing less. You have to acknowledge that life's going to hit you with some roadblocks. And sometimes, shit's not gonna work out, but who cares? Do it anyway. Not because you hope it'll help you reach your next goal or a higher peak, but because the climb itself, that's where you actually find life.